I'm used to giving my opinions, and I'm used to often getting stick for them. This week, though, whilst I debated politics on a BBC show, I heard a whole new reason why a viewer had a problem with me. No, it wasn't that he disagreed with me. It wasn't because he didn't like me, and it wasn't even because I'm a Brexiteer. It was purely and simply because he'd caught sight of one of my tattoos. And in his own words, he said he would struggle to take the political opinion of anybody with a tattoo seriously.
Oh.
As a society, we focus on supporting many different groups of people. But it is a fact that one group who are regularly overlooked are the working class. Whether it is accents, tattoos, education, or even just location, the working class are often dismissed, discriminated against, suppressed, and antagonised. And this, dear viewers, is something I firmly believe we need to work on.
Where?
My darling, if you're lucky, I may well give you a private viewing one day of my tattoos. But the one that this particular guy found was this one.
What's that say?
It says believe.
It's a new one.
How many have you got?
How many have you got?
I'm just checking.
How many?
I've only got 2, but I'm very keen on having some more.
There's one we don't know about.
There's
I
one
love
that you're
the
not lucky enough
theatrical,
to
the way
see.
you did that. That was superb. Are you working class?
So this is an interesting one because it depends what one means by working class. So for me personally, I think working class represents your upbringing, your values, your morals, your outlook.
Your morals?
Yeah, I do
Describe
actually.
a working class moral as opposed to a middle class.
What do I think to a working class moral and value and attitude? So maybe it might not be moral is the right word, but an attitude. So I do regard myself as a working class
values
person.
more than morals.
Yeah, I regard myself as a working class person because, and I feel
You're
proud.
working class?
Yeah,
I do.
Class.
Me too.
I do.
You're
feel like I'm
working
class.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
a journalist and broadcaster.
What's that got to do with anything?
It's not economic. It's where you come from.
Yes.
It's
social.
the society in which
where
you
you
were
started.
raised.
It's
You
not
can't move.
that.
Hang on, time out. You can't move class?
It's not about money. Who wants to move class? I don't want to move
No,
class.
that
I'm
wasn't
very
the
happy.
question. Can you move?
No, because class isn't economic.
hang on,
It's
so-
about the society in which you grew
So
up.
to your point, by some measures, by some economic measures or whatever, people may regard me as middle class. In my heart, in my soul, how I self-identify, I will always be working class.
Got to get
No, I
magic.
will. I will.
Got to get magic. I've never seen him laugh so much.
Well, I just couldn't help but think of other
Taking the mickey out of the working classes, this is what happens.
Hang on, what do you think I am?
Am I the only member of the aristocracy?
Yes.
This is appalling.
No, sorry, my mind's gone somewhere else. I'm just thinking of other debates about self-identifying trans women and stuff like that, which I know you take a different view on. And so how I self-identify, I just found hilarious. Though I don't think you need to self-identify, because I actually agree you are.
Thank you.
I don't think it's about how you feel. It's about, actually, for me, about the social conditions from whence you came.
Yes.
And so I think you fit that test.
And you can't
regardless.
change class?
No, I do think you can. I do think you can, but that's...
I don't want to.
You shouldn't...
No, I didn't say I wanted.
But that shouldn't be...
Look at everybody holding hands. We're so
Wait,
polite.
can I say something?
This is our pod.
Yeah,
The house record club.
I think you can change. I think you can change class in that your children's class becomes different. So for me, I see myself as absolutely working class, proudly working class.
Me too.
But my life circumstances means that any children that I have will be middle class.
Yeah.
And so I think your children
True.
your children are the ones that then identify with the sort of increase in social mobility.
But what's upsetting, isn't it? There is now this chav stereotype, which has become synonymous with the white working class, and that really upsets me. And I blame television a lot for that, because they have characters like Vicky Pollard, and there was a very interesting YouGov poll done a couple of years ago. Among people who work in television, 70% of them thought Vicky Pollard was an accurate representation of working class people, and that's
So
where
is that the Little Britain character, Vicky Pollard?
Yeah, and if you look back on,
to laugh
let me say,
ourselves.
if you look back on TV shows in the 70s, 80s and 90s, we had lots of working class shows. The Likely Lads, the Rag Trade, Del Boy. We loved those characters. But we didn't sneer at them, but we loved them, we were rooting for them. And now when you see a working class character portrayed on television, it's a person to be sneered at, and that's not
I
right.
have a confession to make.
Yeah.
I have a tattoo
Was
as
it
well.
you that sent me that tweet?
Which one?
Oh, the tweet that has...
No, I
thought that was your confession.
There's whole debates about.
I am your brother in tattooiness on this.
Okay.
I have a
shows
tattoo.
you-
Where?
It's on my back. It's not visible, so I wouldn't necessarily face any workplace discrimination for it. I do think the approach to tattoos is changing, social
course.
attitudes to tattoo. However, mine's quite a heavy and serious one, so I think I'd probably get away with it if people ask me why and
Why?
if I explained
Well,
it. Well, because it was so as a prisoner of conscience in Egypt, what I did is I, in part to sort of say that this episode's behind me, I tattooed my prison number into my back.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it was to remember that
Like Jean Valjean,
experience.
like Les Miserables.
Can I just, as fascinating as your tattoo is, and I know that they really do mean things to people when we get them, but I really want to focus this conversation on we have conversations about we need to get more women into top jobs, we need to get more diversity into top jobs. When you actually look at the working class and where they are and the pay gap between working, etc., and have you got some of these stats?
Yes, I do. Can I just make a quick point? I think you are absolutely right. And the Social Mobility Commission released a report this week. Social mobility has stalled again in this country.
Can I just tell you what the facts are from the Social Mobility Commission? People from a working class background are paid 17% less than their colleagues from the middle classes, which is terrible.
And then I have one from the ONS, which I think is back to your point, Michelle, in terms of discrimination against the working class. Only 10% of people from working class backgrounds make it into Britain's higher managerial professional occupations. And I think without question, when we talk about diversity, they are the biggest discriminated group in society.
Exactly.
And actually encompass so many different ethnicities. Obviously, white working class is the biggest of that group.
But where's the outcry? Because we're talking about we don't have enough women, we don't have enough
I think there is
ethnic
an
minorities.
outcry.
I don't think there is.
I think Brexit has brought this to the attention of the elite in that it has to be addressed.
One thing I would say, because you're right, we do talk about racial representation, gender diversity, and we don't often think of white working class males.
I always do.
You do. We've spoken about this before, June.
Yeah.
I do say on my LBC show, I say that actually this concept of privilege, if you take someone like Diane Abbott and you send her to the Cluny estate where I went to school, Cecil Jones in Westcliff, where there's a lot of council estates, I find it difficult to find that the white working class male who grew up on those estates is more privileged than somebody like Diane Abbott. And so to this notion of that it will always be that the white male will be the oppressor and the ethnic minority will be the oppressed. It's flawed, you know, because they have white working class males, when I say they, have an overrepresentation in jails, in a lack of education.
To go to university.
Indeed, underemployment, undereducation. So that you've touched on something that is really important, and we have spoken about this before, but actually it requires solidarity across you know, the various groups, if you like, to sort of try and help.
What's a working class value that the middle class wouldn't have then?
Straight talking.
Yes.
How about that?
That's one.
Oh my God! Straight talking.
Middle class aren't straight.
Let me tell you something. As somebody who grew up in a working class council estate, someone who grew up on a council estate, the thing that I valued most about the community that I grew up around was you knew what they thought. They were straight to the point. When I went into media, oh my goodness, all of this dancing around a subject, never being honest about what you really mean. And also, that solidness of the working class.
I think the working classes have a pride as well. I mean, the thing that I was very conscious of.
Proud.
No, but proud of different things. Proud of just getting from one week to the next. That's what it's about. When you're living on the council estate, which we all did, you know, you didn't know whether your parents were going to get to the next week, whether they're going to have any money or not. So there was a pride in having a job. There was a pride in an achievement and you becoming whatever it was going to be.
And I'll end this topic with Michelle. Thank you, and we are proudly working class, and you have a thing or two to learn, Nick. Anyway,
know your place.
Know your place, sir. Cramp, sore feet, the endless chaffing, but enough about Nick's sex life.
Disgusting.
Poor Nick, we're picking on him.
That's brilliant.
Running a marathon rates
which is also my sex life.
Exactly, his sex life again, rates pretty highly on the pain scale. Nick's sex life again. And one woman who knows this all too well is 26-year-old Hayley Carruthers. Hayley had nearly completed all of the 26.2 miles of the London Marathon on Sunday when just as she was approaching the finishing line, her legs started giving way. Rather than give up, the brave Brummie managed to crawl across the finish line and even beat her personal best time by 3 minutes. Wow. Once she'd put her feet up, Hayley took to Twitter to say, "Today I learned how not to run a marathon. At least I PB'd." Hayley running 26 miles in 2.5 hours. I'd say you did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So, for inspiring us to get off the sofa, you are our are you ready? Walker of the week. That's all we've got time for this week, but don't forget, if you want to join in the debate, just search for The Pledge on Facebook or Twitter. And the all-new Pledge podcast is available to download from iTunes now. Thanks for watching, everyone.